Hello, everyone, and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we will learn how to leverage ChatGPT for podcasters. If you recall, in the previous few lessons, we learned how to leverage ChatGPT if you are starting a YouTube channel, or if you would like to, for example, post on Instagram or create reels or create, for example, YouTube shorts, or even if you'd like to explore TikTok as well. So what I would like to show you right now is I would like to show you different prompts that are going to help you if you plan to start a podcast. Or if you already have a podcast and you'd like to kind of take it to the next level, brainstorm ideas, come up with episode topics and names. Let me show you a few examples. Let's assume that you are starting out and you would like to start a podcast on, let's say, artificial intelligence and machine learning. So if you press enter, actually you need to restart it again. And let's go ahead and give it a try. Here we go. It's going to tell you, well, that's a great idea. Starting a podcast on AI and machine learning can be an excellent way to share your knowledge, insights, and opinions on this rapidly evolving field with a wider audience. And here are the few tips to get started. First, you need to define your niche. You need to plan your content. You need to invest in quality equipment. You need to promote your podcast. And you need to stay up to date as well with all the recent updates on AI and ML. Okay. What if I would like, for example, to give my podcast a name and I would like maybe to come up with new ideas? So we're going to say, can you recommend 10 catchy names for the podcast? And here we go. What you see right now, there are many names actually that ChatGPT recommended. One of them is the AI mindset, machine learning mastery, data-driven discussions, the neural network, the AI revolution, the intelligence insider, the cognitive connection. Again, pretty cool names. And of course, you can go ahead all the time and just ask ChatGPT to give you more ideas. Give me 10 more, something like that. And here we go. It's going to tell you, well, sure, of course. The intelligent edge, the learning loop, AI explorers, AI insights, AI advantage, and so on. Okay. What if I would like, for example, to buy a microphone and let's say that budget, for example, is not an issue and I live in the US as an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the following. What is the top microphone I should get for my podcast? Budget is not an issue, and let's say I live in the US. Well, if the budget is not an issue, there are several high-quality microphones that are popular among podcasters. These are the options. Here, they provide you with a bunch of options, okay? And these are actually quite expensive. And it's going to tell you here, actually, while it's more expensive than the other options on the list, it's a favorite among many podcasters and audio professionals, okay? And it's also going to give you a conclusion. All three of these microphones are excellent options, but the best choice for you will depend on your personal preferences and acoustics of your recording space as well. And it's also worth investing in a high quality audio interface to ensure the best possible sound quality. Okay, what if I decided to go, let's say, maybe pick one of those? For example, I decided to pick, let's say, the AI insights as an example. And let's assume that I decided to film my first episode, but I don't know which title I should choose, for example. So maybe I can go ahead and maybe brainstorm ideas with ChatGPT. So I'm going to say, choose titles for my first 10 episodes. Here we go. Sure. Here are 10 potential episodes for your AI and ML podcast. Introduction to AI and ML, the ethics of AI, NLP or natural language processing, reinforcement learning, the future of AI in healthcare, bias in machine learning. Again, really cool names, really cool titles in general. Understanding computer vision and how AI is changing the retail industry. Okay. What if I decided maybe to grab that first episode, for example, or maybe let's say the second one, the ethics of AI as an example. And I decided to come up with, let's say, the introduction for that specific episode. So if you listen to podcasts in general, these podcasts starts with a quick introduction to that specific or a given episode. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, please write an introduction for the, let's say, second episode in 1 minute. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Well, sure. Here's a 1 minute introduction for the second episode of your AI and ML podcast. Welcome back to our podcast on AI and machine learning. In this episode, we are going to explore the topics that's becoming increasingly important in recent years, the ethics of AI. And of course, ChatGPT is smart. It understood that we're talking about this topic here, or the second episode that basically it's recommended before in the previous prompt. And what I see here is going to tell you, well, this as AI and machine learning technologies become more advanced and pervasive, it's crucial that we consider the ethical implications of their use case as well. And again, pretty cool introduction. What I could do next is, what if I would like maybe to write an episode outline for that specific topic? So I'm going to say, write an episode outline for this, let's say, topic. And here we go. Sure. Here is an episode outline for the topic of AI ethics. Going to tell you, well, you need to start with a quick introduction. And this is the episode title, The Ethics of AI, what you need to know. Here is going to cover the importance of AI ethics, real-world examples of AI ethics issues, principles of AI ethics, the future of AI ethics, and then the conclusion at the end. Okay. What if I would like, for example, to turn this outline into a podcast script? And let's say I decided to make it funny and kind of a little bit catchy as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, turn this outline that you just created here into a podcast script. Make it funny and catchy. Here we go. I'm going to tell you, well, you need to start with an intro music plays. So welcome back, AI and machine learning enthusiasts. It's time to another episode for our podcast. And this time we're driving into a topic that is an important and is exciting, the ethics of AI. But don't worry, we promise to make it as fun and catchy as possible. And then here's going to tell you to insert sound effect of a whip cracking. And then so buckle up, grab some popcorn, and get ready for some ethical dilemmas that will make your head spin. And then here you have some sound effect, for example, again, pretty cool, like really cool script in general. And let's assume that you decided maybe to invite people or guests on your podcast, and you would like to get some suggestions from AI on, well, which experts on AI I should invite to my podcast. I'm going to say, well, I have a guest who's an expert on AI. Can you write 10 questions? And then in the next question, I'm actually going to ask ChatGPT to recommend who those experts are going to be. So here we go. Of course, here are 10 potential questions to ask your guests who are experts in AI. First, what person inspired you to pursue a career in AI? What are some of the most exciting developments in AI that you are currently following? Can you explain some of the most common misconceptions about AI? Again, really good questions overall. In your opinion, what role do you think AI will play in shaping the future of various industries, such as healthcare, finance, and transportation? And then, for example, here, finally, looking ahead, where do you see AI and machine learning headed in the next decade or so? And what implications do you think that will have on our society as a whole? And from my opinion, basically we're heading definitely to AGI, or artificial general intelligence. And it's kind of scary how AI right now is advancing. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to say, well, who should I invite for my podcast who's, let's say, an expert in AI? Let's go ahead and restart again the chat. This happens quite often, even though I upgraded to ChatGPT Plus. So I hope OpenAI will fix this issue soon. So I'm going to say, here we go. There are many experts you can invite. Of course, Andrew Ng, for example, he's one of the top AI experts, and he is the founder of Coursera and Deep Learning AI. There is also few here, for example, here, Yoshua Benjio as well. What, for example, maybe if you would like to add additional names, you can say, give me 5 more. I'm going to tell you, well, sure, here are 5 additional names. So you'll find, for example, Ian Goodfellow, for example, he's a prominent AI name. And it's also giving you a quick description as well of their biography. Okay. Finally, what if I would like maybe to pick, let's say, a given name? For example, let's say I decided to invite, for example, let's say Andrew Ng here. And I decided, let's say, to send him an email inviting him to my podcast. So I'm going to copy that name here. And then I'm going to say, please write an email. So I'm going to say here, please write an email to, actually, instead of having to my first one, I'm going to say to Andrew Ng. Please write an email to Andrew Ng inviting him to my podcast. And that's actually good enough. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Here we go. Sure. Here is a possible email that you could send to Andrew Ng to invite him to your AI and machine learning podcast. Dear Andrew, I hope this email finds you well. I'm reaching out to you today because I'm a huge fan of your work, and I believe that you would be a fantastic guest on our podcast about AI and machine learning. And then you give in a quick overview of the podcast. Our podcast aims to provide insights and perspectives on the latest trends and development in the field of AI and machine learning. We cover a range of topics from technical discussions and machine learning. And then as a co-founder of Google Brain, a former professor at Stanford University, and an advocate for accessible AI education through projects like Coursera and Deep Learning AI, you have a wealth of knowledge and experience that will be incredibly valuable to our listeners. Again, if you get like a professional copywriter, I don't think he or she could come up with a kind of profound kind of outcome like this. Of course, you need to go ahead and edit, of course, this email, and you need to review it, of course. But this will be an excellent invite to guests for your podcast. And that's it. That's all I have for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next lesson.